Good morning. Happy Wednesday, yogis. How's it going? I got a little frog stuck in my throat. Just drinking too much dairy, that little bit. Anyways, it's probably TMI. That's what's just happening. Okay, that's going. Is this on? Is this thing on? Tap, tap, tap. Looks good. Looks good. Well, welcome to some morning yoga this morning. Look at that, nice and bright. Finally got my lighting figured out. Guys, I'm just so excited. It was announced yesterday that part of phase 2 reopening, which is happening this Friday, includes fitness centers, which I think it means the yoga studio. So it sounds like we're gonna try to open on Friday. We've been doing tons of pre-cleaning and getting everything ready and setting out protocols and stuff like that. And so by the looks of it, my classes were back up and running. I'm not sure if I'm going to launch all of them just yet. I think I might just slow roll it. But I usually teach two classes on Saturday, a happy hips, and then a gentle flow, which is right in line with what I'm doing here. And then Sunday evening, 6:30 p.m., I do a hot Vinyasa style class, a little more intense than what I do on these morning classes. And I'm really excited, so I'm going to try to get the word out and advertise for those classes. I usually also teach a Monday and a Tuesday class as well, but I'm going to hold off on those. So that's what's happening. I'm super excited. So there's my big old announcements. Oh, good morning, Doreen. Yeah, I know it is. I think I'm going to still keep these morning videos. I've really been enjoying them. I might stop doing the Saturday one because I'll be teaching 2 classes already, and I would like to have some semblance of a weekend. So I feel like 3 classes in a row is a little much, but we'll see how that goes. So that's my big announcement. It's really exciting. We'll test it out. We'll see how it goes, and we'll play it by ear. I remember a couple of weeks ago I got a call from my dental office, and they're like, "Hey, you want to rebook your clean?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm so desperate to get my teeth cleaned. That'd be awesome." And then they called the next day and they're like, "Just kidding, we changed our minds," or the Dental Association of Alberta changed their minds. So currently everything is open, and I've got those 3 classes happening this weekend. But for now, let's just dive on in to a little bit of our morning at home yoga session and get going from there. So if you've got your cup of coffee or your cup of tea, whatever you're working on this morning, the sun is roasty. It's gonna feel like hot yoga for me today. Let's journey on down. Is that Donna? Good morning, Donna. Great to have you with me. Okay, focus now. Focus on the yoga. I'm just so excited. Or maybe the coffee's making my heart beat real fast. Whatever it is good. So let's do a sip and then start to journey into that position that lets you start to connect inward and connect in with the breath. I feel like this is really super bright, and I learned how to fix the exposure. I feel fancy doing that, so I will just adjust that quickly. It used to auto do it, but it would auto do it way too dark. So let's try that. Excellent. So finding your way in that position, connecting inward. Let's take a nice big inhale. Breathe it in, nice and big, through the nose. Exhale, out through the nose, let it go nice and slow. And then roll your shoulders back and down. Notice I didn't cue that first. Just test, you see how that breath works before you roll it back, and then after you roll shoulders back and down. Take that nice big inhale, breathing in through the nose. Exhale, out through the nose. Can you feel the movement of breath start to happen throughout the body? Can you feel yourself getting taller and creating space and openness as you take that big inhale? And what's happening on your exhale? Are you relaxing on your exhale? Are you engaging on your exhale? A little bit of both, maybe. Feeling that nice connection. And continue to work with that breath, seeing if you can just breathe through the nose. My first yoga instructor I ever had used to always say, noses are for breathing, mouths are for eating. So let's practice just breathing through our nose. And that still is stuck with me. But there's something so satisfying about that big exhale out through the mouth with a big old sigh. So I'm not against it, but today we're just working on that inhale and exhale through the nose. If you've got a stuffed nose, or if you're finding it a little hard to breathe through the nose, of course, switch back and breathe in however works best for you. Let's take just a few more of those big breaths. Start to notice also as you're breathing, start to notice and scan through the body. How are you feeling this morning? How are the shoulders, the low back, the hips? How are the feet? Or the ankles? How's the neck, the arms? Just excellent. If you'd like to set an intention for our time together, go ahead and do so now. What brings you to your mat this morning? What's your intention, your goal, your purpose? And let's seal that in with a nice big breath. So breathing in through the nose, nice and big. And let's exhale, sigh it out, let it out. So good. Start to wake up the body, wiggling into fingers and toes, and finding that little bit of movement. Starting to wake up good. If you're in that seated position, let's roll on back and down. Perfect. Come on to our mats. I don't know how it always seems to have crumbs on my mat. Like I wipe it off before I do my classes, but I always find little extras. All right. Taking that position. Still, if you're just rolling back and down, roll those shoulders back and down. Still trying to find that length. Let's take that nice good morning stretch. Nice big inhale, reaching up. Ooh, that's forcing a yawn out. Look at that. Oh, big inhale and exhale. Just let the arms fall. Let everything soften, falling into the mat. So take one more of those big, giant stretches up. Maybe kick out the legs, feeling the openness through the front body. If you kick out the legs as well, that might help kind of arch the back, which can feel really nice. It's intentional in this position, especially because we spend a lot of time focusing in on low back. Keep reaching those arms up, maybe pointing through the toes, feeling tall like a pencil. And exhale, start to relax. Let's hug the knees in towards the chest. Bringing them in. Nice little rock from side to side. So good, so nice. I always start with one of those good morning stretches, whether it be seated or laying down, because it helps wake up the fascia. That little connective tissue all throughout our muscles and our body that connects everything together. Starts to activate as we stretch it out in that big stretch. And then I hug the knees in because it gives that back a nice little massage and kind of brings everything close in together and actually helps align the spine. So that's the intention between these first two moves that I do pretty regularly. Let's find our stillness here and just relax the knees. We're just going to do a couple little knee circles just to warm things up, nice and easy. Nice and slow. I'm going to do knees opposite directions and just holding on gently to the tops of them to help stabilize there. If you want to bring this a little more intense, just let your knees hang out by themselves. Maybe you tuck your arms alongside the body or underneath. Circles can be really big, working in towards smaller, or it can start really small, working towards something bigger. And even that, you still have control over that. What big versus small is to me might be different than it is to you, and that is A-okay. So it's just warming up through the hips and maybe just a touch into the lower abdominals, into the hip flexors. Not too much, nothing too crazy though. It's mostly about the hips here. All right, if you're going one direction, let's go the other direction. And maybe this time, if you've worked really big, then you start to very slowly make them a little bit smaller, or vice versa. So good. This beautiful sunny day is giving me so much like a little energy. I just feel I was so tired this morning, and now I'm just ready to get fired up and go, which is good because I'm painting a house today. I'm at least gonna try to get some house painted. All right. Start to make things smaller wherever you're at, bringing things back in, finding that nice stillness. If you've got your hands alongside the body or tucked under, just bring the hands out a little bit. Take a nice big inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, get nice and tall. On the exhale, pull that belly button in towards the spine, feel a little tuck of the tailbone. Maybe your knees draw inward ever so slightly as you push that low back in towards the floor. Trying to keep it there, trying to keep this stability coming from the core muscles and from the back muscles. Trying to feel it in there. If you want a little more stability, pressing in through the shoulders as well and maybe in through the hands. So if you're finding those core muscles to be a little bit weaker or not as excited about being engaged today, and then you can use your arms to help compensate. But keep pulling everything in. If you notice you're starting to balloon out, then take a moment, hit the reset. And let's just tick-tock the knees from side to side. So I've got knees and ankles hanging out together and just starting to drop them down one way and bring them over the other way. So to keep this nice and gentle, it's just a little bit of a roll onto the one hip and the next. Not too much, nothing too crazy. If you want it more gentle, you can relax through the feet, or you can keep them at that 90 degrees. Or you can go more in the 90 degrees. The longer you extend your legs, the more intensive this becomes. And the more you start to drop your legs down, the more that core has to pull the weight of the legs back up. So if you bring your knees together or closer, or your feet in towards the body, there's less weight for your core to work with. So even if you want to even drop down all the way to one side and come all the way up, getting a bit of a twist in and using those obliques, that's an option. Or you can extend those legs long and drop it down. I'm a touch too close to the wall, but that's okay. Beautiful. Going back and forth. You can embrace the twist, but if you're going for the core work here, try to keep that opposite sits bones grounded in. Then we use more of the abdominal muscles to pull the legs back up. Excellent. We'll do one more either side. Dropping it down and coming back up. Over to the other side. Then back up. Let's bend the knees, plant the feet. Windshield wiper to release. How are those hip flexors feeling? That was a gooder. Just a touch on the core, lots on the hip flexors. Rather, my hip flexors are just so crazy tight. And just me feeling that burn. Who knows? Beautiful. All right, let's come back to our stillness. Walk those heels in nice and close to the sits bones. And making sure that the knees and the feet are hip distance apart. So nothing overly splaying open or falling open, and nothing falling inwards too much. Just that nice alignment of the body. Take that inhale, breath and lengthen. Exhale, set the core, set the low back. Nice and strong. And then pressing into the feet, let's lift the hips up. Coming into our nice little bridge pose. And starting out kind of soft here, maybe you're like halfway, just starting to press the feet in and warm up through the legs. And starting to feel that little bit of activation. Beautiful. We're actually just going to hang out in this gentle position. You can come down nice and slow at any point, but I want to just work with the arms a little bit here. So I'm going to bring palms facing up, shoulders rolled back and down, and I'm just going to slowly drag my hands across the ground, starting to bring them up, overhead, reaching nice and tall. And so starting to feel into your shoulder blades as you're reaching up. Try to keep your head nice and straight and not pressing into your neck. So this is all about pressing the shoulders in to feel grounded and then letting the arms be able to float into different positions through this nice bridge pose and posture. So let's start to bring those arms back down, bringing them in towards the body, and then bringing them back up. So it might even be a challenge for you to keep your arms on the ground the entire time. At some point, as you're starting to reach up, as in like the Y in our YMCA, odds are your elbow's going to want to start to lift off, maybe even your fingers or your wrists. There'll be that little part where you start to get a little sticky in the shoulders.
Take a moment, press those shoulders in. That might help you keep them in down and keep reaching. Or if you can't get it at all, that's okay. That might just be how your shoulders are. Maybe you've got some extra tightness in there. I know my mom, she gets to about here, then her hand lifts off, and she just goes with it. You know, you got to keep working it with it where you're at. So let's take one more of these, reaching up, reaching nice and tall. Take that nice big stretch, and exhale. Start to lower those hands back down. How are the legs doing? Are the hips still floating up in the air? Still feeling that bit of engagement? Are the knees still in line? All right, let's bring palms facing down. Let's press extra into the feet. Send those hips up nice and high. Just rolling onto those shoulder blades. And let's roll down one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way down. Feeling that sweet release. Maybe feeling that spine adjust. Beautiful. You can take a little windshield wiper from side to side if that was lots on the legs. Beautiful. I played rugby in high school, and ever since then, I built so much strength in my legs. I find any leg poses to be pretty easy right off the bat. So I'm sorry if that was killer for you. High school was such a long time ago. I don't know how I've kept that strength. But there we are. Beautiful. All right, let's come back to our stillness. And just feeling like just a touch more through the core here. Let's check the time first. Let's be responsible. We'll move on in a different way. Let's take that big inhale. Reach it up overhead. We're going to make our way up to seated. Some of you want to just hug your knees in and work on rolling up to seated. Or you can roll onto your side and press yourself up. And let it feel really good. Excellent. Take a little moment here.
Look at all these comments. I'm missing out. Eliza? Is that Eliza? Hey, Eliza. Sorry I missed your comment a couple moments ago. Great to have you with me. All right. Sitting on those sits bones. Maybe pulling the flesh away so you can actually feel your sits bones. And pressing in. Take that inhale breath. Get nice and tall. Exhale. Roll those shoulders back and down. Let's take that inhale. Sweep those arms up. Have them come to touch and exhale. Bring the hands down. Take that inhale, reach it up. So maybe even here, bring your hands to touch overhead. Might feel like lots on your shoulders. What do you need to do with your head to adjust to make that happen? And then exhale, bring the hands down. And if they don't come to touch, that is a-okay as well. So you can just have them kind of come to float. And then as you start to pull them down, have them come to touch. But I like that extra bit of challenge of reaching up as tall as you can, having the hands come to touch. Adds that little extra in on the shoulders. Beautiful. Hands to heart. Come to stillness. Press the hands together. And squeeze through those shoulder blades. Start to activate into those arms. And let it feel really good. Beautiful. Let's take a little bow here. Just starting to bow forward with a nice flat back. So keep those shoulders rolled back and down. Maybe you're just resting elbows on the knees, or maybe you bring your hands down, or maybe you walk your hands down a little farther. Wherever you like to hang out in just a nice seated forward fold. Let it feel good. Even if you need to widen the legs a little bit, if you've got a little extra, you can make room to come down a little more. Then here, I love to kind of play around with that push and pull with the hands. So I'm going to create this gentle little push sensation that helps me get a little taller, shoulders roll back and down. And that exhale, pressing into the hands. Still trying to keep us flat back though, but just feel how that activates along the spine. Your shoulders will round a little bit, that's okay, but it's not like you're really hunching into it. Take one more nice little pull, get nice and tall. Nice little push, exhale. Keeping those arms nice and active. And let's come all the way back up to seated. Rolling those shoulders back and down. Let's bring the arms out wide like a T. And just drop on down towards the left side. So imagine sliding against a wall. And bring that right hand, reach it up nice and tall. Beautiful little side bend stretch. And keep rolling that top shoulder open. Maybe the gaze even goes upwards. If you want a little more, you can walk that left hand a little bit farther away, or even come down onto forearms. You can add the nice little pulse in, and just make sure you keep both sits bones pressing in, so press those legs down. Excellent, nice little side bend stretch. I was thinking of naming today's class the TikTok class, mostly for these little motions here of side bending from one side. Let's press into that bottom hand. The left hand starts to reach back into that nice T position. Then let's just start to drop that right hand down. Nice, like an airplane, reach that wing up. Beautiful, big gaze goes up. Arm can even come overhead. You can walk that right hand a little farther and come down onto forearms. Find that nice tipping point. Beautiful little pulse maybe. So good. Beautiful. Let's start to press into that bottom hand. Reach that left arm up. Press yourself up, back into that nice T position. And then imagine your back is on a wall. So let's take a nice big inhale, breath, lengthen. Exhale, engage the core. And we're just going to tip down towards one side, touch the hand down, and come all the way back up towards the other side. So notice what's happening in the shoulders. Can you keep your shoulders nice and straight as you do this? Arms extended nice and long. Then can it just be a nice little side bend? Can you just feel this right in at the hip? Maybe a little bit through the hips and through the obliques. That's all that is engaging here. Reach it up and to the other side. So keep in mind how this feels. We're going to do this standing, kind of our moon read position. So then we're going to add this in to a warrior two. So just a little side bend to one side and to the other side. Come back towards neutral. Relax the arms. How are those shoulders feeling? Let's switch the feet. Opposite foot in front or in top. I'm getting into that other side. Oh, so many comments. This is great. I love this. Yay! Cool. Thanks everyone for making it and for commenting. I love that. I just wish my computer screen was either bigger or closer. Or I could wear glasses and do yoga. All right, other side. Roll shoulders back and down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up so nice and tall. Maybe the gaze goes up, head tips back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach it up. Gaze goes up. Maybe you take the little back bend, lifting the heart up a little higher. Exhale, hands to heart. One more of those big giant inhales, reaching up. Exhales, pull everything down and in. And let's take this little bow on this side. Starting to, even if you come forward just an inch, even if the elbows are far from the knees, you can always just rest the hands on the legs, or even press the hands into the legs, rolling the shoulders back and down. Or take that journey down a little bit farther, letting it feel really good. You can still tuck the chin without rounding through the shoulders and create that gentle little pull sensation. Finding that length through the spine. Exhale, press. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press. Beautiful. Let's play around. One more of those. Nice big pull through the hands. Exhale, press. Even if you have your hands on your knees, it still works. And come back towards neutral. And come on back up. Finding yourself in that nice seated position. Let's bring those arms out to a T. Reaching out nice and tall and long. Take that inhale. Find that extra bit of length, extending the crown of the head up a little bit higher. Exhale, engage through that core, maybe even pressing the legs down a little bit further. Then let's start to twist towards the left. So see if you can keep your arms the same distance. As you start to move, you're playing around with peripheral vision. That's really what's happening here. I'm just seeing if your ego is getting in the way of trying to adjust the arms so it feels like you're twisting more. So just fun little things to be aware of where the hand's at. Let's drop those hands down. Just let them fall wherever they're at. Take an inhale, get a little taller. And exhale, let's twist a little deeper. So I'm just adjusting my hands. I love to just hold on to a knee to help twist a little deeper. I don't know why. Maybe that's just how I was trained and taught. It's a good anchor point. Knees nice and sturdy. Feeling that rotation all the way through the hips, through the spine, giving those internal organs a nice little massage. Maybe you twist a little deeper. Maybe just look over that back shoulder, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Take one more nice big breath, breathing in. And exhale, nice and slowly. Let's start to untwist, coming back towards that nice neutral. Sitting nice and tall. Reach those arms out, really reaching nice and strong. I have my palms facing down. And starting to twist towards the right. So feeling that nice little rotation, nice little bit of spin starting to happen. Feeling the obliques, feeling the shoulders. You can add a little extra in through your twist, even here, by focusing in on the hips. So press those legs down. And then imagine rolling that left hip back a little bit more. And then bring your attention into your shoulders. Imagine rolling that left shoulder forward a little more. Feel how you've twisted just a little deeper by just focusing in. You drop those arms down. Inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, press in. Maybe you twist a little deeper. Maybe you just look over the back shoulder, including the neck in this nice twist. You can adjust the hands. However you need. I like my backhand to reach back behind like a second spine, planting kind of in the middle of my back on the ground. Right by the tailbone. Beautiful. Nice big inhale and lengthen. Exhale, release. Come on back towards center. Spine's nice and warmed up. We're feeling good. Got some side bends in as well. Let's bring the knees in, plank the feet. I'm going to just come at a bit of an angle here. Oh, look, my leggings match my mat. Sorry, I got new purple leggings. I'm really excited about them. All right, so sitting in, holding on to the legs. Notice, are you hunching into this? Let's find all that space. Roll those shoulders back and down. Lift through the heart. Excellent. Feels so good. Just sitting here, finding that length. Let's bring the hands now, tucking them under the knees. Maybe you reach on for a finger or you get the whole hand clasp. Wherever you're at, maybe you walk the feet in a little bit more, starting to find that balance point on the sits bones. Keeping those shoulders rolled back and down. Maybe the feet start to float up. So this should feel pretty easy here, nothing too crazy or insane happening. The legs or the arms are holding onto the legs, so the core isn't working too hard yet. Maybe you feel it a little bit more through the shoulders. Now I want you to keep this position with your back. And then from here, then we'll add on and make things a little bit harder. So if you want to increase it already, starting to just bring the hands to the outside edges of the knees, not holding the legs in place. That'll start to add some intensity. If you want a little more, you can bring the feet so that the shins are parallel with the ground. You can point through the toes, you can flex through the feet. Dealer's choice on this one, whatever feels good. But if you're starting to round into it, it's becoming a little bit too hard. So take that moment, lift the heart. If you want a little more, release the hands, reach those hands forward. Keep holding here. Maybe you open up the arms like a T. Excellent, let's close it in. Let's take 5 of these, opening up and closing in. Open up, bring it in. Beautiful, here's 3, we got 2 more. And open and close. Even if you have to touch your feet down, you got this. Beautiful, bring the knees in, plant the feet, bring the hands behind you. Take that little windshield wiper from side to side. I just had to sneak in just one more little core exercise. We just had to. All right, let's make our way into our nice all fours position. So maybe you're just rolling right over your knees, coming to all fours. However you want to get here, it is good. The clock keeps shutting off. Oh, we got lots of time. This is good. So hands stack under shoulders, knees under hips. Take that nice big inhale. Start to look up. Let the belly really drop down to the ground as if you're pressing that belly button in towards the mat. Inhale, look up a little more, extend long through the crown of the head. Exhale, tuck the chin. Round the spine upwards, nice angry cat on Halloween. Pressing into those hands. Take that inhale, start to look up, drop the belly down. Moving at your own pace with your own breath. Feeling that nice stretch through the spine. Keeping those fingers nice and wide. So good. And if the knees are sore, you can always fold the mat. Adding a little extra cushion. All right, let's find our way to our tabletop position. Nice.
Good. And let's send those right toes back, touching them down onto the mat, and roll that right hip down. Beautiful. Let's walk left fingertips forward. Extending long through the crown of the head. Take that exhale, quick exhale, engage the core, pull that belly button in. Start to float the leg up. And if you want a little more, you can lift the left hand up. So opposite foot to opposite hand. Reaching out nice and tall. Pressing into that standing knee, pressing into that left knee. Keep reaching nice and tall and strong. Beautiful. So good. Keep reaching, keep holding. Excellent. Let's drop that left hand down to keep the right foot raised. And start to bring that right foot out towards that 3 o'clock position. Yeah, in the air, we're squeezing it. Beautiful. Let's kick it back. Extend the toes nice and long. Maybe even point through the toes. Maybe you flex through that foot. And let's bring that right foot, opening it up towards the right. Beautiful. The toes at some point will point forward. And kick it back. Point the toes backwards. Last one. Let's bring it to that 3 o'clock position. Nice squeeze. Keep pressing into the hands. Squeezing through the obliques. Send those toes back. Excellent. Just touch the toes down onto the ground. Keep the leg extended. And then slide that foot to the 3 o'clock position on the ground. And keeping things a little bit easier than using all of that nice core. Starting to press into those hands. Coming all the way up. Beautiful. Hands on the hips. Roll the shoulders back and down. And try to make those elbows invisible. Maybe bring your hands just a little bit more behind you. Take a nice big inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pressing into the entirety of that right foot. So not just the inside or the big toe edge of the foot. See if you can flatten the foot, pressing it all the way down. And connecting with that breath. Big inhale. Exhale, keep that core nice and engaged. And keep that little tuck of the pelvis or tucking the tailbone under. Beautiful. Let's tip things over towards the right. Hands still just hanging out on the hips. Shoulders nice and open. Feeling this nice side opener a little bit through those obliques. Let's come on back up. We'll take 3 of these little pulses. Coming down, coming up. Excellent. That makes 3. Come on back up. And now for the other way. So tipping over towards the left. Sorry, I'm not mirroring you in this one. Come on back up. Tip things over. Stay nice and strong here. Feel the opening through those right ribs. Come back up. Last one. Little tick-tock back and forth. Lots of side bends. Let's inhale. Reach the arms up. Let's add a little intensity. And if this becomes too much for you, just drop the hands down. Or even coming into your boss arms. Arms interlaced behind the heads. Elbows opening up. It feels really good. But I'm going to go for the full gusto. Arms reaching overhead. However you want to hold on to your arms works good for me. Taking a nice big inhale. Exhale, engage the core. Then tipping things over towards the right and come up through center right over towards the left. So incorporating both movements now and feel that core start to engage. And tipping over towards the right, through center, over towards the left. And come on back. One more. Towards the right. Towards the left. So good. And come on back up. Reach it up nice and tall. And exhale. And start to bring the hands down. And bring that right knee in and towards the mat. You can take that nice little sway from side to side, pushing the hip out to one direction and the other. Letting it feel good. Beautiful. Let's come back to our stillness. And planting those hands right underneath the shoulders. Nice flat back. Take a nice big inhale breath. Lengthen through the spine. So making sure that those arms and shoulders are nice and engaged. Exhale, engage the core. Send the left toes back, touching them down onto the mat. Roll that left hip down. Reach right fingertips forward. Finding all of that length. Making sure you're so nice and strong. And start to float the leg up. If you want a little more, float the hand up. You can do this with the right hand down though. Kind of works in a little bit of balance, a little bit more strength. If you float it up though. Keep reaching the hand a little longer. Keep a nice tuck at the chin. And keep extending long through that left heel. Beautiful. Keep finding all of that length. Some nice natural traction for the spine. Remembering to breathe. Keep it reaching. So good. Let's just drop right hand down to keep the left leg floating around. Just gonna come forward to keep kicking this table. Beautiful, left leg out. And so now we're kicking that left leg out towards the left, keeping it in the air. You want to keep it more gentle, just lower the foot down. Kicking it out, now kick it back, point through the toes. Just to align everything nice and long. And let's kick it towards the left. Maybe flex through the foot, bring the toes forward, nice big squeeze. Send the foot back, nice and tall and long. One more, bring that leg forward. So good. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep pressing into that right side of the body. Left foot goes back. And touch the left foot down on the mat and bring it to that 9 o'clock position. And then start to press into those hands, coming up. All the way. Bringing hands on the hips. And take that nice inhale breath. Beautiful. Pressing into the entirety of that left foot. Finding that length. Bringing the elbows behind the body. Just feel how that lifts through the heart, through the collarbone. Nice big inhale and lengthen. Exhale, engage through that core. Feel how now you're nice and active on that right knee, right standing leg. Let's tip things over towards the left. 3 little pulses here. Come on, back up. Maybe as you tip over, you feel that nice little stretch through the inner thigh. That's pretty normal. Last one. And come on, back up. And set yourself up again. Lengthen. And 3 dips towards the right. So come on down. Come on, back up. Feel that hinge at the hips. Nice little side bend. Beautiful. And come on back up. So good. Let's bring those arms up overhead, adding a little intensity into this. Reaching up nice and tall and strong. And over towards the left. And keep that top shoulder rolling open. And keep that spine nice and flat back behind you. And let's come all the way back up over towards the right. Feel that engagement of the core. Come on back up. Over towards the left. Then all the way up and through towards the right. Beautiful. One more time to the left. Reach it, reach those arms. Press into that leg. Nice and slow. Let's come all the way up and over towards the right. So good. Hold it here, just a quick breath. Come on, back up. So good. Release those hands down. And start to lower down. Nice. Bring that left knee back in. And take that little sway from side to side. Excellent. So good. Feeling good, feeling nice and warmed up. Lots of side body movements today. Excellent. Let's find our stillness. Bring the knees nice and wide. We'll take a nice little child's pose before we get too wild and crazy. So working on sitting back towards the feet. Arms extend nice and long in front. Then head just drops down. So you totally have the option to be really nice and high up. You can even do the puppy pose where you keep your hips over your knees and just walk the hands forward. It's just really getting your head below your heart. And arms don't even have to be extended long. If that's too much on your shoulders. If you've been golfing too much and you got sore arms, sore shoulders, this child's pose might feel really good or might feel really bad. Especially if you keep your arms active, elbows lifted off the ground. Taking a little moment, maybe remembering that intention you set at the beginning of class. Taking a moment connecting with the breath, feeling grounded. Take a giant inhale breath. Really try to breathe not only just into your lungs, but into that diaphragm. Exhale nice and slow, let it go. Press into those hands, start to come up. Draw those knees back inwards. I'm getting ready to come into our downward dog. So tucking the toes under, press into those hands, lift the hips, press extra into those hands to make that nice straight line all the way from the wrists through the shoulders to the tailbone, really lifting those hips up. You can pedal out the feet, making sure that you're pressing Not just into the palms of the hands. Use your fingers as well to help stabilize, especially your pointer finger and your thumb. There's so much power in that little L that's created. So good. All right. In my flow classes, the flow is always optional. You have the option to drop back down into a child's pose or hang out in this downward dog, or we'll take 2 flows to help warm up. So coming to our plank position, you can drop the knees down and then lower the body down, letting the elbow graze the ribs. So coming down nice and slow with control. Once you get all the way down, press into those hands, lifting the head and the shoulders, rolling those shoulders away from the ears. This is our little baby cobra, just nice gentle back bend. And then from here, press into those hands and coming back through tabletop into that downward dog. So even tabletop to child's pose, to lifting the legs is a great way to keep that back nice and straight. Downward dog, the whole purpose of downward dog is actually to lengthen the spine. It works on strength through the arms and the shoulders, but also the main purpose is the spine. All right, let's take one more little flow and coming to your plank position. Lowering down if you want a little more, you can do the chaturanga. Have a little push up. Maybe you come up a little higher and coming to your full cobra. Keeping those shoulders far from the ears though. And then if you want, you can just tuck the toes and push right into your downward dog. Extending it nice and long. So those are the 2 levels of intensity I teach for our flow. Let's look towards the front of the mat. If you're in child's pose, let's make your way up to that downward dog. And take a nice big step. Hop, jump, a couple baby steps. Just make your way into a forward fold, letting the head hang heavy. Nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. You can bend through the knees here. That'll help release more of that low back. And if you like that little hamstring and calf stretch, having the legs straight-ish but not hyperextended feels good. You can even give the legs a little massage. A little part of self-love. Excellent. All right, let's inhale, halfway lift. Roll those shoulders back and down, extend long through the crown of the head, maybe even pressing into the legs to help find that extra bit of length. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Beautiful little chair pose. If you want, you can sweep those arms up, getting a little more into those arms and shoulders. Take an inhale, breath and lengthen. Exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine and sink a little deeper. Nice and strong. Low back, press all the way up to standing, reach it up nice and tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful, inhale, reach it up. Interlacing the hands, coming to steeple. Just point your finger, reaching up. Other fingers engaged, pressing into the feet, making sure the feet are a hip distance apart, squeezing the toes into the mat. Nice and strong, engage the core. And let's come into a little side bend, so reaching over towards the left. Keeping that right shoulder spinning open, maybe even your gaze goes up. Reach a little higher, a little stronger through the arms. And using the feet, so press into the feet to bring yourself back up towards neutral. Standing nice and tall, keep those arms overhead. Let's go down towards the right. Nice and strong through that core. Maybe even gaze goes just past the elbow, keeping that spinning open. If your arms have gotten a little saggy, a little relaxed, let's try to extend them nice and long. Keep finding that length. My arms are saggy, but for other reasons. All right, let's go on back up, reach it up, nice and tall, exhale. Hands to heart center. So good. Let's step those right toes back. Coming into a high lunge to start off with. So feet stay like that hip distance apart. Then right toes just go back, pressing into the toes. So if you're like down all the way on the ground, that's a good indicator that you can actually add more space between the feet. And if you're finding you're on your toes, then this is just killer hard. And bring that back foot a little bit closer towards that front foot, shortening the space between the feet. Roll that left hip back. And then let's sink into that left leg and coming into that full lunge position.
Notice as you start to bow forward. And I always do, mostly because I got tight quads. And see if we can bring those shoulders over the hips. And extending nice and long. Let's sweep those arms up. Reaching nice and tall. So good. Excellent. Beautiful little high lunge. Keep reaching up. Notice, are those low ribs puffing out as the spine arched? And can you pull those low ribs in, activate into that low back. Nice and strong through the spine. Excellent. Let's exhale. And start to bow things out and just reach forward. And then drop the hands down and reach back behind you. If you want more, you can interlace the hands. You're getting a nice shoulder stretch. Beautiful. Let's release the hands. Inhale, sweep back up. And drop that right hand back behind you, dropping the heel down and coming into our warrior two. Odds are you're at a bit of an angle, though it feels kind of weird. So you might need to hop that back foot so that the arch of the foot is kind of in line with the foot itself. Bring a bend to that left knee. Reach those arms out. Beautiful. Let's straighten through the leg. Reach it up. Give that leg a little break. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back into warrior two. We'll take 2 more of those. Reaching up, straightening through the leg. Exhale, back down. Last one. Reach it up. Nice and tall. Pressing into the feet here. Exhale, sink it back. Nice and low. Beautiful. So remember all those side bends we were doing? That nice little movement back and forth. That's all we're going to do here is add that in. So let's drop that left hand down towards the left leg. Reach that right arm up. Notice how this is pretty much your extended side angle. If you want, you can even bend the elbow and drop the elbow in. Reach that right arm up. But usually when I do extended side angle, I see people's shoulders starting to cave inwards. So the whole goal here is opening that up, trying to feel that beautiful side body stretch. And that's why we have our arm up, is for that awareness to open up through the shoulder. Beautiful. Let's press extra into the feet, using all of that strength to reach it up. Beautiful. Extend nice and long. On Facebook, the camera just shut off, and now it's back on. Hopefully it's good. Let me know if there's any issues, guys. Beautiful. So coming back to that nice neutral position, imagine the hips being at north and south on the mat. So finding that openness there, but keep that left knee over the foot. Beautiful. So let's tip things the other way. So we went down towards the front of the mat. Let's now go towards the back of the mat for our little reverse warrior. If you want a little extra, keep a bend to that left knee. Reach that arm up. And keep that shoulder being nice and open, almost like there's a beam of light shooting out through the heart. Nice little side bend. If you want, you can even bring your hand on your hip. I call it the I'm a little teapot, or the reverse teapot. It keeps things nice and aligned. Let's go on back. Warrior two. How's that front leg feeling? Mine's feeling good. Beautiful. Let's straighten through that front leg. Reach the arms up. Reach up nice and tall. Exhale. Drop the hands back down. And let's heel toe that back foot in a little bit closer. Beautiful. Working on one nice smooth movement of stepping towards the top of the mat and keeping this right leg floating in the air. So take that big breath. Exhale with control. Start to float it up. And level everything back down. I'll mirror you guys here. Beautiful. So leg is floating in the air, standing on that on that left leg, nice and strong. Let's bring that knee open. Might help to imagine you're holding onto a bar or a banister. Just working with a bit of balance here. And then connect that right foot anywhere along the line, coming into your tree position. It can be down low. You can even still have a toe touching down if your balance is really shaky. Or it can hang out anywhere, maybe with a helping hand. You bring it above the knee. Find it really hard to get it up there without a hand. It's not cheating. It's using a prop. Props are so excellent. All right, if you want a little more challenge, try moving the arms to a different position. And growing your branches, letting your tree look however it wants, and bring attention to those abdominals. Pull that belly button in. Make sure those ribs aren't floating out. Stay nice and strong. Really work that core and the back muscles. And working on your posture through everything we do. Beautiful. One more nice big inhale and lengthen. Exhale. Start to relax the hands. Let's unstick the foot. Whoop. Bring the knee back towards center. And drop that foot down. And march it out a little bit as you need. Let's inhale. Reach it all the way up. And exhale. Bow it down into a nice forward fold. You can bend through the knees, helping release that low back. Then here are options. You can just play around in a forward fold. There's lots of stuff you can do. You can swing the legs. You can interlace the hands behind the legs. You can reach for the toes. Get a nice shoulder stretch. Or we can move into our downward dog or a child's pose if you'd rather that. Or we'll take 2 flows. So follow along if you want something more than a forward fold. Otherwise, just hang out here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands down in towards that. Take that nice big step back into that downward dog. The option is to just hang out here or drop the knees. Or take those 2 flows or any combination of those. So coming to your plank position. Nice and strong. You can drop the knees down. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, take your back bend. Whatever it looks like for you. And move into your downward dog. So good. Stretching it out here, not rushing this downward dog. Take a full breath. Nice big inhale. And on that exhale, move into that plank position. Beautiful. Lower down. Press it up. Nice back bend. Shoulders are far from the ears. And make your way back into a nice downward dog. So good. Pressing it out. Feel the strength through the arms, through the shoulders. Maybe pedal out the feet a little bit. If you're in a child's pose, let's make your way back up to the downward dog. Doesn't look towards the front of the mat. Hop, step, jump, or tiptoe into a nice forward fold. So we've all made it back to forward fold. Works good. There's no shame in not doing the flow. I get that there's a lot on the shoulders. Get your heart pumping as well. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Pressing the hands just above the knees, roll those shoulders back and down. Extending long through the crown of the head. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Oh, check this out, chair pose. Sweep those arms up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull that core and sink a little deeper. Press all the way up to standing, reach it up. Nice and tall and strong. Exhale. Hands to heart. Inhale, reach it up. Interlacing the fingers, coming to steeple, and standing nice and tall and strong. Pull those low ribs in. Beautiful. Pressing into the toes, feeling all the power through the legs. Imagine the knees as little dials, and you're dialing them outwards, activating into the sidelines of the legs. Let's tip over towards the right this time. Feeling that nice extension. If you want a little more here, you can kick the hip out and reach the arms a little bit more. Just make sure you can do so with control. Beautiful. Still pressing into the feet. Let's come on back up. Reach it up and over towards the other way. Reaching nice and tall and strong. Keeping the hips over the legs to start with. And then if you want more, kicking the hips outwards. Reaching. So good. Nice big stretch. Pressing into the feet. And come on back up. Relax the hands, heart. So good. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Get one more nice big stretch. If you want a little back bend here, that's an option. You can just reach the arms up if you want to tip the head back. Or if you're feeling solid there, then you can start to reach backwards and push the hips forward. So good. And come on back up to center, using the feet. Don't compromise that low back. Exhale, drop the hands down. And then step those left toes back, coming into a nice high lunge position. Stepping back, adjusting the feet however you need to. to be high up on those back toes. Bring the hands onto the hips. Roll right hip back, push left hip forward. Sink into it. I like these because I feel them on my hip flexors, on my left side, on my quads. Stabilizing the strengthening with my right foot, pressing into the toes and the heel. Don't leave half the foot out. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up, reach it up nice and tall. Notice those ribs, pull them in, activate that low back. So good. Keep reaching, feel all of that power and strength through the legs. Excellent. I'm going to start to reach those hands forward, bowing down ever so slightly, keeping the hands extended long. And then sweep them down, reach them back. If you want a little more, you can interlace, opening up through the shoulders. Keep rolling that right hip back, staying nice and strong through those legs. Beautiful, release the hands. Sweep it back up, reaching both hands up. And then bring that left hand back behind you, drop that left foot down, coming into our warrior two. Adjusting that left foot so it's in line with that right foot. I always like to start with my hands on the hip because it lets me remember to roll that right hip open. Sink into that right leg. Reach those arms out. Beautiful. Let's give that right leg a little break. Straightening through the leg. Reach those hands up. Still pressing into the legs. Take a big inhale and lengthen. Exhale. Back into that warrior two. Reach it up. Exhale down. One more go around. Reaching up, straightening through the leg. Exhale. Back into that nice warrior two. Drop the hands down onto the hips. Open up through the shoulders, lift through the heart. Beautiful. Keeping that nice engagement here. I'm going to reach my arms back out to that T, but now I have open shoulders. And start to drop these down towards the right. So it's just shifting things over. If you want, you can drop that elbow down. Reach that left arm up. Find all that openness through that left shoulder. Staying nice and strong through the legs. Gaze can go upwards, looking up towards the sky or the ceiling. It's sort of been a beautiful day to do yoga outside. Excellent. Okay. Pressing into the legs. Let's start to release that lower arm. Float on back up into our warrior two. And then let's tip things. So we went forward. Now let's go backwards. Reaching that right arm up. Bring the hand, left hand can track down the leg. You can come on the hip. Just feeling that nice openness through those right side ribs. So good. Nice inhale. Remembering to breathe. Let's come on back up. Warrior two. You can relax through the arms. Straighten softly through that knee. Heel to that back foot in a little closer. Or if you want to try it from full extension, you can. So walking that back foot in makes it easier to look towards the front of the mat. And step towards the front. And keeping that left leg floated up. Let me just join you here. Beautiful. So finding your balance, planting that right foot in, maybe giving those toes a little squeeze, finding something to focus in on that isn't moving. And then draw that left leg open. Find that openness and plant the foot wherever it wants to hang out. Up high, down low, in the middle. Did anyone else say too slow? So good. I think I used that joke yesterday, so sorry if you're on yesterday's class. If you want that hip stretch from yesterday, then just keep imagining sending that right hip back, finding that openness. Or you can just play around with your arms. You can fly your arms, having lots of movement. You can imagine just holding on to that railing or that bar. You can reach those arms up. Pull those low ribs in, nice and strong through the core here. Beautiful. Big inhale. Exhale, nice and strong. Excellent. Taking one more round of breath, making sure you feel all the burn on that right side. Drop the arms down nice and slow. Let's just unstick the foot. And bring the knee back towards center. Drop it down. Maybe you march it out. Getting ready for a last flow. Inhale, reach it up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Hang it out. Gotta manage a cool down in like 30 seconds here. We can do it. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands down. Step it back into your nice downward dog. We'll just take one little flow here to close things off with. You come into your plank. Lowering down. Pressing up. Nice back bend. Let it feel good. And knee back, downward dog. Pressing firm into those hands. So good. Excellent. Let's drop those knees down nice and wide. Take that little child's pose. Stretch things out. Reach those arms forward. Maybe here you do a little push and pull with the hands. Playing around with the spine and the shoulders. One more nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. Then start to come forward. And we're going to just make our way into a nice reclined position. Coming down onto our backs. This is what happens when I don't have a clock in front of me at all times. That's okay. It's good. Roll those shoulders back and down. Nice little tuck of the chin. Take that big inhale breath and lengthen. Nice and big. Exhale. Engage through that core. We'll just add in a quick little twist to help reset the spine. So we're reaching those arms out wide like a T. Bring the knees to hover over the hips. And drop them down to your favorite side. I'm going down towards the left. Gaze can go opposite of the legs if you want to include the neck. And your hand can just rest gently on top of the knees. If you want to add a little more weight in towards the legs, it just helps create a little bit of pull. Maybe you feel that in your T band, or maybe it helps you roll a little more onto that left hip, deepening the twist. See if you can connect in with the breath, with the heartbeat. Nice big inhale. And a full exhale. Let it all go. See if you can soften. Just melt down into your mat. So release the hands and return the neck to neutral. And with control, swing those legs all the way up and right over towards the opposite side. It's okay if the knees don't come all the way down as well. You can stack a fist underneath the legs or between the legs. Gaze can go opposite. Hand can go on top of the legs. Just finding a nice twist for you. This rotation through the spine is a great way to find that extra bit of movement, especially once we're all warmed up. Take a big inhale. I know we're twisted and you can't get that full breath, but still try to breathe into that diaphragm. And exhale, let it go. See if you can soften, melt in. So good. Return the head to neutral. Release the hands. Bring those knees all the way up towards neutral and hug the knees in towards the chest. If you want a little more, you can reach on through the knees for the feet. As long as you can roll that head and shoulders back down. Bring the feet up towards the ceiling, knees drawing towards the body. Really holding onto feet, ankles, or even the backs of the knees. Whatever works best. Wherever you naturally grab onto is good. You don't always have to adjust and control and change. Sometimes what you do naturally is the best option. Excellent. If you want to add that low resistance, you can actively pull into the feet, actively kick into the hands, and extend the head nice and tall and long. It might even float up off the ground. Great way to reset the spine. And exhale. Relax everything in. Here's the little freestyle portion of the class. Or if you're just ready to settle right into your Shavasana, you're more than welcome to. But if you're craving another pose or movement, be sure to take a little moment to take some time for that. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can settle into your final pose, your final Shavasana. I know I've gone a little past 9, sorry guys, but I will leave you here to finish off your class with exactly whatever you need. I thank you so much for joining me for our yoga flow this morning. My flows are, I think, the hardest class I teach. The happy hips are a little easier. The yin yangs are the easiest. So feel free to join me, whatever works best for you, either live at 8. It's great to have you guys with me live, or rewatch whenever. You guys are amazing. So as you're finishing off your practice, I do encourage you to take some time, reconnect with that breath. See if you can take 7 full inhales and nice slow exhales to close off your class with. And I pray that you find joy through the rest of the day and that you are always blessed. Thank you and namaste.